What historical event would you pay good money to watch, and why?
The sound of the eruption of Mount Krakatoa. On August 27, 1883, at 10 a.m., Krakatoa erupted and made the loudest sound in history, making it sound around the earth 4 times. In Batavia, the sound was recorded at 172 decibels, even though it was 109 miles away, but the sound was much louder than a jet engine. On a British ship 40 miles away, a sailor suffered a ruptured eardrum, his captain thinking the apocalypse was near. The power of the eruption was equal to 10,000 Hiroshima bombs, 36,000 people died, the lava was falling at a rate of 60 miles per hour, the tsunami was 120 feet high, and wiped out 165 villages on the coast. Teddy Roosevelt assassination attempt. Not only is Theodore Roosevelt my favorite U.S. president, and a great speaker, but he's also tough as nails. When he had an assassination attempt on his life, he continued to deliver his speech while the bullet was still inside him. The planet's poles flip. We all know that north is, well, north, somewhere above Alaska, and south is down near the middle of Antarctica. That will always be true for the planet's geographic poles, but it's only intermittently true for the planet's magnetic poles. Over the last 20 million years, the magnetic poles have flip-flopped every several 100,000 years or so, which means that if you had a compass in hand about 800,000 years ago, it would tell you that north was in Antarctica. Though scientists are pretty sure Earth's churning, molten iron core powers these polar acrobatics, it's not entirely clear. The process is gradual and occurs over millennia. For now, Earth's north magnetic pole is creeping towards north by about 40 miles per year, as opposed to about 10 miles per year in the early 20th century. Given that the last major pole reversal happened 780,000 years ago, we are overdue for a flip. The arrival of the Zeppelin known as the Hindenburg at Lakehurst, New Jersey, on May 9, 1936. No, that was not the date of the famous disaster, that would be too morbid for my liking. I would rather like to see the successful arrival, and the look of wonder everyone present must have had in their faces while seeing this colossal aircraft arrive for the first time. Keep in mind the Zeppelins were absolutely massive. Whereas a Boeing 747 is typically 230 feet in length, the Hindenburg was 804 feet long. It was among the largest man-made objects that ever flew, and I can imagine if one was around today it would be a huge hit at air shows. The Hindenburg as compared with a typical Boeing 747. The Hindenburg as compared with America's National Capitol building. But the footage of the Hindenburg disaster brought an end to any goodwill these dirigibles had. Keep in mind the British had their own major dirigible disaster in 1930, the R-101, and the American Navy also had their own disaster in 1933, the Akron, so these giants of the sky proved to have a terrible reliability record. We can only wonder what it must have been like to see these air behemoths gently flying overhead.